To the food more base than Boots Collins. You versus me, that's like Ali versus Foreman. God's act.
Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Tyler, and in today's video you guys are watching a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplay commentary. I have another life story for you all today, and this story is a story I've actually told on my channel a long time ago. But the original time that I told the story on my channel, it was just so long ago. I did it completely terribly, like it was really hard to follow, so I just figured I'd go ahead and redo this story because it is a really good story. And if you guys haven't read the title by now, as you can tell, today's story I'm going to be talking about the time that I actually ended up smoking a blunt in school. So at the time this took place in my 9th grade year of high school, my very first year that I was in high school, and I think it was around my second semester at the time of high school, because at that point I wasn't really doing that well in school, and I remember I had to go in on Saturday mornings for a Saturday school class, so I ended up going to school on my Saturday morning. You know, it was kind of my normal routine at that point, because I just had like one math class I think I had to do, so it wasn't like I was there for a long time or anything, but pretty much I get there on this Saturday morning, and before we would go to our actual Saturday school classes, we would end up hanging out in the cafeteria for a little bit, basically just kind of everybody collecting there. So I went into the cafeteria and was walking around just hanging out, and not many of my friends that I knew at the time were in Saturday school that day, but there was this other kid who I did end up knowing, but not really well. Like, I wouldn't say we were really good friends or anything like that, but I knew him from school. I just knew him like around the hallways and stuff. We had talked a little bit, but that was about it. But there was one thing that we knew about each other at the time, and that was that we both smoked weed, and the reason that we had known this was because at the time we were buying from the same person. So I end up seeing this other kid and I go and sit down next to him, you know, and we're just talking, chilling for a little bit. It was probably like 5 minutes. And it's funny because the kid I'm talking about in this story was actually the same kid I've talked about in the story where I smoked and got way too high and ended up throwing up. And if you guys haven't seen that story, I'll link it down below in the description of this video. But I will warn you, it's probably fucking awful. I might want to redo that story too. I have no idea because it was a really long time ago when I posted that. So you guys have a heads up on the cringe warning. I do assure you it's probably AIDS. So anyways, let's get back on topic. So I was talking to this kid, but he ends up asking me if I want to smoke some weed before we end up going to our Saturday school class, so I was like, yeah, sure dude, let's do it. And when you initially asked me, you know, I figured we would go across the street to the park that's across the street from the school, but I wasn't really too sure. So me and this kid end up getting up and walking out of the cafeteria, so I start following him, and so we're just talking, and I end up asking him, you know, like, yo dude, where do you think you want to smoke? Like, where should we smoke this blunt? So for whatever dumb reason, the kid and I decided that we were gonna go into the gym and smoke this blunt, because if I remember right, we didn't have time to go over to the park or something like that, so we were just gonna smoke the blunt like actually in the school property. And the school that I went to actually ended up having 2 gyms at the time, so we had like the new gym, which was the main gym that everybody used, that was for the basketball games and like the majority of some of the gym classes and stuff, but we also had an old gym at my school which would also get used pretty often, but it wasn't nearly as much as our new gym. Like, we didn't have a lot of practices or anything like that in there, so we decided we would end up going into the old gym. So me and this kid end up walking into the old gym and going way into the back, like across the entire basketball court, and to the back right corner of the gymnasium there was like this small little door that went into a small stairwell. So we end up going across the whole gym and into this little stairwell in the back corner, and me and this kid, you know, we're scoping around the stairwell, making sure there's no cameras or anything like that. We end up sitting down at the bottom right next to the other door. So in the stairwell there was 2 doors. There was one that ended up going into the gym, and then it was like an emergency exit door that went out to the kind of side outdoor area. So me and this kid end up posting up in this little stairwell here, sitting down. We light this blunt and we're just sitting here smoking in the stairwell. And now him and I didn't crack the door or anything. We were just chilling, chiefing this blunt in the stairwell, and I know the whole stairwell had to have stunk like weed. And to be honest, I'd be really surprised if it didn't smell like weed in the gym. But anyways, me and this kid are sitting here smoking this blunt. We end up smoking the whole thing, and we end up getting down to the road to the blunt, and I pass it to this kid and he hits it one more time and just puts it out and leaves it in the stairwell. So I'm just kind of laughing about him leaving it in the stairwell, but at the same time I was kind of paranoid and like bugging out because I was all stoned and I didn't want to get caught or anything like that. So him and I are standing here in this stairwell still trying to decide which way we wanted to leave, and so me and this kid decided that we were going to end up just leaving out the little fire escape exit in the stairwell that we were at instead of going back through the entire gymnasium, pretty much just because we were super paranoid and there were cameras in the rest of the gymnasium, so we didn't want them to see us walking across from the gymnasium. So him and I are sitting here in this stairwell like all spooked out out and paranoid, and we're just kind of peeking out the little side exit door real slowly, wait until we could get a chance where nobody's out there. So finally, after like 5 minutes of peeking out this door, we end up getting a clear section, so both of us just sneak out the door real quick and just go ahead and go straight to our classes. And it was actually such a crazy experience, neither of us ended up getting caught for it, like it was fucking wild. But hopefully you guys do enjoy this story. If you guys have any similar stories, I'd love to hear them down below in the comment section. Also, I do not condone you guys trying to smoke weed inside your school. I just want to put that out there. This was a really dumb idea. 99% of the time you will get caught doing something like this. I'm not sure how I got so lucky and didn't end up getting caught by doing that, but I just wanted to say, like, don't do this, because it's really actually fucking stupid. But anyways, you guys know I love you all. Thanks again so much for watching today's video. I'm out. Peace.
We ain't shit, thought I told you like 100 times, yeah. We ain't shit, why you always acting like you mine, yeah. We ain't nothing, why you all up in my fucking space.